On July 22nd, we took a flight from here to Tel Aviv. It was not my first trip, neither my kids, me and two sons. And we usually travel, no problem. I usually cross, the usual interrogation, 2-3 hours at the airport, and why you're here, and the regular questions. Everything was, going smooth until we landed. Me and my oldest son, we started moving. My youngest son was a little bit behind. He had to change his clothes and, whatever it is to look good. So they stopped him as soon as he disembarked the plane. As soon as he came out the steps, they pointed at him, they called him in. Of course, we didn't know that. I came to know that later on. Why are you here? What are you doing here? Why you come to Israel? You have nobody in Israel. Which is truly and honestly, we don't have any relatives in Israel. No father, no mother, no brothers, nobody. We just went for a far cousin wedding. So the youngest son, which is Rani, he's a pharmacist. He's also a doctor. He says, why did you stop me? The plane had about 500 people on it, or 480 people. Why me? So they didn't like that question. She says to him, it's a matter of security, and we have to stop anybody we want. The last question they asked him, who you are here with? So he said, father and brother. Where are they? They left ahead of me, so they let him go. Of course, they let him go to see who is father and who is his brother. By the time he reached us, I was at the immigration officer window, right on the window. So he came, he was very furious, Brooklyn kid. He's a Brooklyn kid. He's born and raised in Brooklyn. He's born and raised to freedom. He's not born to somebody to start looking down at him or, to make your life miserable and all these things that they told him. So he comes to me, he says, here's my passport. So I looked at his face. His face was as red as your shirt. I said, what happened? He said, nothing. I said, okay. I took the passport. I gave it to the gentleman. He issued a visa for me right away. And then he was followed by one of the Secret Service or the intelligence officers. As soon as he saw he was talking to me, he went behind the officer, immigration officer, and he started talking in Hebrew. From what I gathered, of course, for me to understand, it's impossible. So from what I gathered, that he told him the father is no problem, but I need the kids. I want the kids. So he gave me my passport with a visa on it, and he says, welcome. And he took the other 2 passports with him. And he said to the kids, follow me. So I went to him and I said, could you tell me what's going on? These are American born, He said, no, nothing, don't worry about it, everything is fine, but we wanted you could go. I said, how can I go? We're going from here to the wedding, The kids has to be with me, we're going to attend, it's the first night, and he said, okay, you could wait. So we waited. But for 20 minutes, somebody came. They asked me for my passport. Again. So she came, she says, give me your passport. She extended her hand. I extended my hand with the passport. She came to reach and I put it back. And I was smiling and I gave it back to her. She went like hell broke loose. She looked at me and she was very upset. She took the kids and they went inside. She spoke in Hebrew to the gentleman inside. Told him that from what I gathered from my sons, that they told me later on, that she told him I gave her a hard time giving her my passport. So the guy looks at my youngest son and he says, are we going to have a problem? So my son says, why would we have a problem? I'm asking you, are we going to have a problem? So my son says, why would we have a problem? And he goes at him and he said, are we going to have a problem? He said, what kind of stupid question? No, what kind of a question is that? Why you keep asking me this? What kind? He looks at him and said, go outside. He put him outside. My oldest son, also he's a doctor, he says, listen, I'm sorry on behalf of my brother. He's born in Brooklyn, he's raised in Brooklyn, it's a different environment, the way you talk to him. it's intimidating. You're just trying to pull his strings. He said, listen, it's not your business. He's an adult enough. You don't have to apologize for him. I'm going to make your life miserable. I could have made it easy, but I'm going to make your life miserable. So my son said, why you do that? He said, your father is giving a hard time to my girl, giving her his passport. So my son said, he looked at her and he says, why? He was joking. Wasn't he laughing with you? She said, yeah, he was laughing. He said, it's a joke. It's a simple joke in America. He's trying to ease the atmosphere because you are so serious and we don't, there's nothing wrong. He said, okay, you wait outside, but I promise you, I'm going to make your life miserable. My son comes. He said, here's your passport. He gave him my passport now. So my son says, my father can leave? He said, yes, he can leave. So my son came and he said, listen, take your passport, leave, because what he told me is he's going to make our life miserable. So I said, how do you want me to leave? And he's telling you he's going to make your life miserable. So I'm not going to leave. Let me see what he's going to do. At least let me understand, why is he going to make your life miserable? Anyway, that was we landed about 3:30. So that was about that time, about 4:30. 4:30, 4:45. About 5:30, 5:45, they came back. We were sitting in a room. You cannot go to the bathroom. There's no water. There's nothing. If you want to go to the bathroom, like in a kindergarten, you have to raise your hand and you have to be escorted to the bathroom. It was something really out of the extraordinary. Anyway, I was not in that yet. I was outside because I had a visa. My kids were in there, and then I spoke to one of the guys. I said, listen, we're not criminals. The room, it has about 50, 60 people in it. Why are you keeping everybody inside? I have a visa. I could walk in. My kids, I'm sure, there's nothing wrong with that. So, okay, you could wait outside. So we waited outside, but, we have to be escorted to the bathroom. When we go to the bathroom and all these things, no water, nothing. They came back, they asked me for my passport. I gave my passport. Now, right away, I didn't pull it back or I said, here's the passport. She took my passport, she came back with my passport again, about 30 minutes. Now it's about 6:30. Here's your passport, you could go. I said, borrow my kids. She looks, she says, like that. I said, what does it mean? I need to know. If they are not allowed to go, then we go back. I have no problem with that. But I need to know what's going on. She goes, I don't know. Okay, you don't know. 7 o'clock, they changed the shift. Shift has changed. Now, 7:15, 7:30, 8 o'clock. They come, they look for my passport again. I gave her my passport. She goes and she comes back. She says, you could go. I said, what do you mean you can go? It's 8 o'clock now. From 3:30, it's 8 o'clock. I need to know what's with my kids. Are they allowed in? Are we allowed in or not? And she goes, I don't know. I don't know. About 8:30, she comes back. May I have your passport? I gave her my passport again. Then they called me in. Now, this is the first time they talked to me. She asked me about, this is the name of yours that you had a Palestinian ID. I said, ma'am, I don't have a Palestinian ID. I never had a Palestinian ID, and I don't want one. Unless you want to give it to me, I will take it. And she says, no, you have a Palestinian ID. Ma'am, I don't have a Palestinian ID. She goes on the computer. Listen, you're a liar. But she's about 21 years old, the girl. And I said, that's not nice. You cannot call me a liar, and I'm older than your father. She says, get out, get out. She speaks in Hebrew to her boss. Of course, I could gather what she said because of what, and she was pointing, meaning throw him out, or to that effect. So the lady in charge comes and she says, please get out. I went out and I said, but tell her it's not nice to call me a liar. Why she's calling me a liar? I don't have an ID. And if you want me to have an ID, give it to me. I have no problem with that. Give me the ID. She says, no, just wait outside. I waited. They called me back again. Of course, now the humiliation starts. deported. You are a liar. Your name is this. Your name is that. You have an ID. I said, listen, stop this bullshit. Excuse my French. You have one option and one option only. If I have an ID, give me the ID. If I don't have an ID, stop telling me that I have an ID. And when was that ID issued? So the lady in charge went to the computer. Oh, it was issued in 1995. I said, ma'am, if that was issued in 1995, I left here 1994, I came back 2000. First trip, I came back 2010. And if your computer is there to say that 95 I have an ID, it should show that I was not here. I never came. And there is ID in my name as a Palestinian. It's not mine. She goes, you are a liar. That the same girl that is acting like big shot. So I said, listen, don't call me a liar. Do not call me a liar. Okay, they took me out. They took my passport. She came out and she says, I have a solution for you. I said, tell me, what's the solution? She said, why are you coming here? I said, because I have to attend a wedding, and the wedding is about exactly 10 minutes from the airport. She says, where? I told her, I'm in Rafah, which is 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes from the airport. That's where I want to be. She said, okay, you go back to Jordan. There's a flight going to Jordan in an hour. We put you on that flight and you come back on a Limby Bridge. So I said, okay, no problem, but do you guarantee for me getting in and coming back to the wedding? She says, no. I said, why would you? If you are the officer on that border and I come to you and I tell you I was forbidden from coming through Tel Aviv airport, would you let me through that border? She says, probably not. I said, then why are you telling me to go back? What should I say? I go to the border again to Jordan. What should I say? Oh, tell them you have an ID. I said, where is the ID? She said, I'll give you the number of the ID. I said, it's not enough. You could give me any number. It does not mean anything to me. Give me a printout from your computer with my name, with my ID, and I will take it. She said, I cannot give you a printout. I said, ma'am, listen, I have nobody in Jordan. I'm not a Jordanian. I am a U.S. citizen since 1976. I would like to stay as a citizen of America, and I would like to go back to my country. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. She says, okay, wait. I waited on the counter. She talked now to the girl that cursed at me and said all these nice words, in Hebrew, of course. But when she told me a liar, she called me in English. But she said a lot of bad words in Hebrew. So she asked her something about somebody that she called and who she called from the military. She translated back to me, that's why I know. She said, listen, I'm going to talk to the military again and see what they say. So she spoke to the military. She said, wait outside. She came out and she says, if you want to go back to America, you have to sign a waiver for us. I forgot to bring that waiver. I had it in a file. I'm sorry. I had it I had it, but So I said, what kind of a waiver I have to sign? She says, here's this. I look at it. Oh my God. Illegal entry something.
Trying to enter illegally into Israel.
No, there's a bigger word in that. Something like I'm being smuggled. There's something to that effect. So when I read it, I said, did you find me in a suitcase? Well, why? She said, this is your choice. It's either jail, Jordan, or deportation. So I said, you know what? I'll sign the paper. I have no problem. As soon as I signed that paper, she hands over the passport to my sons with a visa. So I said, my kids are now allowed to go. Yeah, no problem. They could go. I said, what is all this? Why it's me now? You took it from the kids on me. It's not right. The kids said, we don't want to go. We're not going to go in without our father because we came for a wedding together. And finally, she said, you come with us. Now the trip of pain and agony starts. They took me, where's your suitcase? of course, to identify my suitcase is going to be impossible because we put all our clothes together. The three kids, the three of us. So the wife did their clothes, my clothes. I said I picked up anyone because I know some of my clothes is going to be in that thing. We took it, and I thought they're going to take me back. We go in a secluded room, maybe smaller than this one. There's an X-ray machine, and name it, everything is in there. They took everything out of the suitcase. They started checking everything. It's fine. Well, at that time, I needed to take my blood pressure medication because really, I started looking on what's going on. I got really very upset. I said, I need some water to take my medication. And he says, I'm sorry, we have no water. I swear to you, this is verbatim, per word. So I said, listen, I need to take my medication. Otherwise, I am sure I'm going to have a heart attack. I need to take my medication. He said, I don't have any water. I said, let me walk out and buy some water from the machine. He said, no, you are not allowed to walk out. I said, send somebody to buy it. No, we are not going to send nobody to buy it. Anyway, I took the pills, no water. I had to take the pills. Maybe 1.5 hours. After they finished checking me, took my belt, took everything, whatever it is, your shoes, and they put back. She says, come and fill up your case. I said, sorry, I'm not going to fill up. Whatever you did, put it back together. That's all what I want you to do. I'm not going to touch it. So anyway, she put it back together and everything. Now, you could walk out. We finished. I said, can I ask you a question? She says, yes. I said, if the visa was in my hand, you gave me an entry visa, I could have walked out and took my suitcase. Would you have done the same thing to me, walking into Israel? She said, no. I said, why are you doing it now? What's the reason? I'm going back. Why are you checking me? 1.5 hours in the room, you have to take off your clothes. Forget it, For what? Oh, really? She goes, oh, really? I said, yeah, really. Because if I walked out with my visa, I would have picked up my suitcases and kept going, like the usual. That's what happens. I am going back and you are checking everything? Anyway, I went out and there was a guy, I think he's from Russia, because from accent. He comes to me and he says, I am very sorry. You know what? There's nothing I can do, but you could go buy water. You could go buy water. I went to buy the water. The machine takes only credit card. I had Israeli money, of course, in my pocket from the last trip. So he said, it's only credit card. I said, okay, my credit card is in the briefcase with my wallet because, they took everything out. So when they take everything out, you put it in the suitcase. You don't put it back in your pockets. The guy was very nice. He said, I will buy the water for you. I said, no, you're not going to buy my water. I have credit card. I buy my water. But he offered to buy my water. And I thank him. And then he comes with me. He says, listen, I am really sorry. I said, you don't have to be sorry because it's not your fault. Anyway, my kids has to be forced to go out the airport and come back as passengers on the flight. Our tickets were first class. They put us in economy, saying there is no room in the first class. And when I went, I checked the flight, there was maybe 10 people in the first class. Why they did that, I don't know. They said there is no room on the first class. They put us right next to the restrooms where the security is. One guy from here, security, and we are in the middle. My passport was given to the purser on the plane. I was given my passport at JFK. So I said, what did I do? What is going on? Am I a criminal? You don't even treat criminals like this. I worked at the airport. Even criminals are not taught. What did I do? Nothing. We landed in JFK safely, thank God, and we are here. After that, of course, to let you know, I started. By the way, our case is many of them, but not a lot of people will come out and talk about it. We are out because we have friends like you. We have people, we know our ways around, and we know a lot of people, we know politicians, but a lot of people like us don't know nobody. I wrote my story in the Facebook, and I started, we send a letter to John Kerry, through Jim Zalby, the Arab American Institute, of course, and a lot of our institutes and organizations are working on my case and his case and Nardin's case. It's because we know the people. But there's a lot of people, these tickets, they borrow this money. They really borrow this money to go there to see their relatives, and all of a sudden they're stopped and sent back. Or the little gifts they take with them to their people, to their relatives. It's amazing, the humiliation. Going back was a disaster. Why are you doing this? Oh, we don't know. I said, listen, I could have moved out with my briefcase, with my suitcase. Nobody would search me. Yes, she said yes. I said, why are you searching me going back? Why do I have to take off my clothes? Nobody has an answer. Nobody knows why. They are, by the way, mostly what I saw is kids between 19 to 23, 24 years old. They are full of hate. They don't smile. They look at you like you're from a planet of apes, or God only knows, Mars. Something unbelievable. While sitting 4.5 or 5 hours in that room, I have seen cases, people, women with kids, but 6 months old, sitting down, no water for the milk. What's going on? What, we lost our humanity? Come on. I mean, they say Jews and Arabs are cousins. Aren't we? Or aren't we? I don't know. When you see a woman with a year-old kid or something, for what? And they stop her for 5-6 hours and they let her go. Why? Why did you stop her for 6 hours and let her go? If there is anything, I'm sure your computer would have told you. I'm sure your computer would have said something. Like my case, they say the computer says you have an ID. Give me a printout. No printout. Why? Give me a printout. Prove that you do have it. No, we cannot give you a printout. She said, she told me it's the authority, the Palestinian Authority. I said, I don't recognize the Palestinian. I have never seen I never went into the Palestinian territories ever in my life except through Ben Gurion Airport. I come, I rent a car, or I come with my American car that I shipped it to Jordan, and I cross from the north with my American, and I come here. I stay at Dan's Hotel in Jerusalem, and that's where I go. And I am sure you have this on record in the computer. She said, yeah, we know. But you have a Palestinian ID. I said, I came in maybe 15 times or 10 times at least. Where was that Palestinian ID? Oh, we just found out. Magic came up. And I hope, this is the story. This is the whole thing. If there is any questions, anybody wants to ask.
Thanks, Sabi.
Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity, really.
And your parents had to leave in 1948 from the Nakba, from the home.
Yes, of course. We are refugees from 1948 from Jerusalem. It's a small village next to Jerusalem. Now it's in Jerusalem. It's called Colonia, and now they call it Motza Elite. So they moved from there to Bethlehem, and they stayed in Bethlehem until they passed away.